everybody, and welcome back to the Beginner's Guide. I am Mothy, and this is part 2, arbitrarily divided up, of this lovely little biographical game by the guy who made Stanley Parable. Let's just jump right into this next level and see what Coda has been up to in the intervening months since he made that last little... Ooh, you are now entering the immersion. Almost looks like that sign's floating. You are now entering... But it seems like Coda's been doing a lot of narrative stuff very similar to Stanley Parable. Whoa!
And that's it. Okay, the meaning of this game won't be clear just yet. Please be patient with me for a few more games, and I promise you'll see what makes it interesting.
You are now entering the Twilight Zone. That was a really short game, holy crap.
Oftentimes, Coda would put bizarre titles like this one at the start of his games.
Alright.
I wish I'd known him at the time that he was making these early games. He would really only talk to me about his work as he was making it. Once he stopped work on a game, that was it. It was dead to him. And I don't agree with that at all, but what are you gonna do?
Smack him upside the head. Tell him to get back to work and make stuff. And be creative. Alright, well, the stairs make sense. I don't feel like exploring the entirety of this plain, flat, empty level. So, central focus, the staircase! Here we go! Upstairs. Can't see my feet either. Coda, you gotta come back and fix this. I want to see my feet. Oh, I'm slowing down. Oh, the wind's blowing against me. Oh.
Once you've been slowed to an absolute crawl, the door at the top of the stairs opens.
Oh, God.
So why, if Coda's not showing these games to anyone, why bother opening the door at all? Well, to show you, I'm modifying the game here so that when you press enter, it'll bring you back up to full speed so you can enter the door for yourself.
Oh, thank God. This would be the worst actually, no, I could do a Let's Play video of just this for 15 minutes of me crawling up this staircase. So let's see here. So, let's see, there's 1 step, 2 steps, 3... No, I'm not going to do that. Hit enter. Okay, we're going up the stairs now. Oh my God, could you imagine? Interesting thought experiment, Coda, but, door closes. Alrighty. What is going on? Button you press to stop the chaos that doesn't work. Stop the chaos!
A room that's warm, and nice, and filled with little ideas for games.
You construct a wall, the wall is destroyed, you are given a medal.
Coda would often tell me that he didn't mind if people thought of him as cold or distant. He said that he knew that he was actually a vibrant and compassionate person, but that it takes time to really see that. It can be a very slow climb to get there.
So he sounds like he's a really introverted, creative guy. I like it, Coda. Come on back into the video game scene. Game filled with chairs except 1 chair is floating. Live on a boat. Oh, okay. I don't get to read all those. So, 3 months later, 2009. Ready, set, fish. Sounds like a little board game that you play with a bunch of 5-year-olds. You just have like a foot race only with fish. You have like someone the starting gun go off, and then all the fish just flop on the ground at the starting line, trying to slowly flop their way to the end. I don't know, actually. If you had a good physics engine in that game, I'd probably play that game. So we got another level. This level looks like it's from Half-Life or something. Alright. I mean, to be fair, though, I mean, once he gets everything sealed off, it doesn't look so, like, just a big empty space. Some of these levels actually look really good. This looks like it could be in, like, a game from 2009. Okay, what else? So we don't have any...
Well, this is new for Coda. It's an actual puzzle. Go ahead and see if you can solve it.
Oh, I can't get back up either. I can jump pretty high, though. Alright, so lever. Alright, so lever opens door. There is creepy black mist that may or may not kill me. Press it again. So, can I, like... I can. And the black mist doesn't kill me. So now I may be stuck in here perpetually. Oh no, there's thing on the inside. Okay, there's a lever on the inside. Okay.
Don't forget that solution, because we're going to see this puzzle again soon. We're gonna see it a lot.
Okay, so that's the puzzle. The lever for the other door is on the inside of the other door. Okay. Alright, I get it. What do we got here? 3 black dots? Is that important? Screenshot this. 3 dots. Alright. The random orange trim. Notes it's very warm feeling. Sure. Very welcoming. It's almost like it's pointing to... This, no, it's something. All these wood panels make it look like a dojo. I feel like there should be a bunch of ninjas practicing.
So that seems to be it, right? You walk down a corridor, you solve a puzzle, you get to the end. Simple enough.
Then
All
you do
right,
jujitsu.
now I'm going to modify the game again, so that when you press enter, it'll remove all of the walls from this room.
What? Why? Also, how did you get all these levels from Coda? Did he seriously have all these just sitting around for the last several years? Okay, enter. What? Coda, you crazy! What is all this?
How about that? There was more to it than we had any way of knowing. I actually find it funny that this game comes after the Stairs game, since they essentially convey the opposite idea. So, in the Stairs game, a dull exterior concealed a rich interior. And then, in this level, a dull interior hides this fantastic outer world.
I like that interior.
Either way, I think that the point
And
is
these
the
are all
same,
other staircases,
is that most
too.
of the time you don't get to know what you're missing,
Jesus.
or even that you're missing anything. That's not your role as a player. So if your role here is not to understand, then what is it?
To nitpick and mod and go into the code of the game and make your own mods and make Minecraft a better game and more fun and play Gmod and play Trouble in Terrorist Town and prop hunt and all those things that aren't actually technically Gary's mod. You are now exiting. Ah, so this is a different game.
Aha! So, this, combined with the entering game from earlier, tells us that Coda believes his games are connected somehow. It could even be that the Stairs game and the puzzle game are literally connected in between this and the entering game. There's a bigger picture that all of his games are meant to play a role in, some larger meaning that we won't be able to grasp until we've seen all of them. And once we have, we can step back and start to understand what exactly that bigger picture is.
So that crazy big open room with all the random hallways and stuff that we couldn't see at first, I guess is just like his mind or his life or as a video game level maker. And then all these things are parts of it and that's just kind of the hub where it all comes together. It's a nice looking house. It's like we're in the Matrix room where he's showing Neo about how everyone died. And this
Let's
is
talk about
what
video game
happened.
development for a second.
One house left.
Every video game runs on what's called an engine, which determines what the game can and cannot do.
Right.
So in other words, the engine is a set of tools for game development.
The streetwise fool.
To make all of these games, Coda is using an engine called Source. Like all engines, Source has certain things that it does well, and it has certain things that it does poorly.
Like ladders.
One of the things that it does very well is boxy linear corridors. That's why so many of Coda's games are set in these large, flat, empty rooms, is just because he's working with what the engine does well.
I gotta say, this kind of almost looks like a little cafe that would be in
The tools
France or
available to
Paris,
the
but
creator shape what kinds of
not with
creative
this
work
name.
they're going to end up making.
I don't know
You
if I
might
would eat at a
consider
place
paying
called the
attention to the
Streetwise Fool.
architecture in Coda's games,
I don't know if I want a
to
Streetwise
notice
Fool
how they
making
seem
food
to
for me.
stem from an engine that's very good at producing linear, boxy corridors.
Sure. So what happens when he makes his own engine, or uses a different engine? Well, a high chair. That's considerate to someone that had a baby, apparently. And there's a handicapped entrance that you have to have a key to go through. That makes sense. So, can I get over here? I can. This must be the side door. I couldn't get in before. All right. Well, let's go down. Sure. That was a neat little. Oh. We got all abstract. It's gonna be very hard whenever they need to go down to their basement to get more coffee or beans or something. Oh god, how do you know where the beans are? Can I fall? Yes, I can fall. But I do not die. Aha. I don't know, there's probably a point here where you have to fall. I don't think this is platforming strictly. But let's give it a try. Let's try to be pro here and do a little bit of platforming and actually find our way down. God, I don't know where I'm supposed to go. Do the orange ones? No, the orange ones don't really respond or correspond to anything, do they? Yeah, let's go down this way. Oh no! Oh no! Jijibop. Okay, that works. Planned that. Everything's fine. Here's a staircase. This is kind of like a staircase. I can do this. Let's go this way. And it's almost like Thomas Was Alone, only in like first-person 3D form. Just a very minimalistic, abstract platformer. And like as an art style, I kind of like it, but I don't know if this was strictly designed to be like a platformer. But obviously we're trying to go down to the bottom of the basement somewhere, I guess, to find beans and or coffee so that we can help the customers that have evidently already left. Maybe that's why no one's there. They gave up on getting service here. Because all the waiters kept getting lost in the basement down here. Alright, now we got a proper staircase now. Okay. That's progress, I guess. And now we're in like a bunker. These are really meandering set pieces, jeez. They've got like a nuclear bunker in the basement of their restaurant. Are these just dead ends? Yes. So this is definitely not about choice like Stanley Parable was. But it's also not necessarily his levels or his... Well, it's his game. It's his biography, I guess. Oh, why would you do that? Being herded like a cow now. Or a sheep. Into a prison. There's some kind of social commentary here. But I'm not going to dwell on it too much until the narrator tells me to. Alright, I guess this is home now. Wait a minute. Is the fence electrified? No. Apparently, can I even go in my cell, or is this my bed? Elevator. Okay. I don't know why I'm being so jumpy. Sure, let's pretend... Oh, no, invisible wall. Alright, no choice. Keep going.
This prison, funny enough, in Coda's original design, the doors stayed shut for a full hour before letting you go. If you don't mind, I think we're gonna skip that.
Yay! Again, that'd be an amazing Let's Play. Just 1 hour, okay, and we're going back down.
This is something that he and I used to argue about a lot. You know, whether a game ought to actually be playable. Whether it means anything if no one can get through it. And I would always defend that, you know, all this work goes into the game, why not make it playable and accessible? And so we just got into heated arguments over it, and there was one time that after one of these conversations, he went home, and a day or two later, he sent me a zip file entitled Playable Games that was full of hundreds of individual games, each of which was just an empty box that you walked around in, and nothing else. Believe me,
What a
I played
smartass.
every single one of those just to find out if there was like a gag hidden somewhere.
Which of course there wasn't, because he's a smartass. But technically he's right, all of them would have been playable and finished. Sort of, in a really, really, really minimalistic, lazy, smartass way. So made it to the prison, theoretically an hour went by, that would have been really rewarding, good god. It's like he was deliberately making games that just weren't finished and weren't playable. These were all just thought experiments of his. Like, it's so interesting, but at the same time, like I want to see like him follow through on a finished project. What the hell is that? It's like a giant light plug. I can't go over here either. Yeah, so it's just a giant prison. Shortcut. Oh, it's a piece of glass. Wow, that took me a long time to realize. We're going downwards yet again, past the prison that's in the nuclear bunker, that's in the abstract platformer basement of the French restaurant, and now we're outside. What? Sure. This totally looks like one of those little bunkers from Half-Life 2 or Half-Life 1. There's those dots again. Is this like his signature? This must be like his signature, I bet. blocks, though, that probably cuts off, you know, like, just over this wall.
It's the puzzle again, with the exact same solution as the last time.
Oh, spoilers. Can I click it? Can I click it? I solved it again! Woo! Clicky, clicky.
There's still no clear indication of what makes this puzzle so special that Coda is going to return to it over and over. But I promise I'll share with you my interpretation very shortly.
Being able to look back behind you and use that to look forward, something like that, based on the other game we played before. Just taking a shot in the dark. You're gonna share your interpretation, maybe a little bit. No, okay. This is gonna be terrible when it rains. But I don't know. This isn't really a house. I guess we can get away with that. Share your interpretation. Make Coda make sense. What in the world is this? Oh, lovely. It's nice and warm in here. Listen. Did you come from
Here,
above?
Coda begins using a kind of dialogue system that he fashioned out of the engine's chat capabilities. Use the 1, 2, 3 buttons on your keyboard to respond.
Alright. What was up there? There was a lot of different stuff, let me tell you. There were these floating colored blocks. There was an enormous prison I spent hours in. Actually, I didn't, because thank God. We could skip that. There was a world stamped with whiteness. Was there? I don't remember that. Oh, yeah, I guess so. That was the restaurant where we started. Well, let's see. There were these floating colored blocks. That's the world above. You've been there. Can I get up there? That's important. Did you have to get through a puzzle with 2 doors and switches? Yes, I did. That was literally the last thing I did before I came here. Nope, I already forgot, you know, having to do that puzzle. I'd prefer not to tell you, after all, we've only just met. Sure, yes I did. It was literally the last thing I did before I came here. Good, perfect. Now please tell us how you solved it. Tell us the solution. Tell us how to get to the other side. I don't think you can you? I remember how I solved it. I'm trying to remember what I can't. I didn't solve it. Someone else let me in. Trust me, you don't want to go over there. I don't know if you can get back out. I mean, the floating platform puzzle, we do. We just need to get it there. Do you understand? It's the most important thing in the world. We have to escape this prison. I can appreciate that. Given that, theoretically, you spent an hour in that prison at this point. So wait, I missed stuff. Apparently we're done talking to you. Can we escape now? Alright, escaping is the most important thing there is. I couldn't agree more. I wish I were back in the French restaurant. Oh, God. It's the Stanley Parable all over again. Was there a puzzle you had to pass through? Yes, do you know how to solve it? No, we actually find the black space between the doors to be far more interesting. Have you seen it yet? Actually, now that you mention it, I remember feeling strange as I passed through it because it didn't kill me and it didn't make any fucking sense. Don't think too hard about it. I'll try not to. You'll see it again soon. Great. Oh, so their heads are turning when they're talking. I didn't even notice that. Alright, next. Oh, we're moving on finally. Downstairs. Let's go. Let's get rid of those creepy box-headed people.
And so we make one last descent down to the final floor of the level.
Wait, like level or the entire game? Alright, so, below the deepest level, we must go deeper. This is the weirdest version of Inception. Oh my god. Could you imagine if they made Inception 2 and it was anything like this? Although I guess that really weird abstract level with all the weird floating
It's a
blocks could
lamppost.
certainly be someone land. What?
Okay, I can't tell you quite why, but for some reason, Coda fixates on this lamppost.
Sure.
It's going to appear at the end of every single one of his games from here on out.
It's a nice little focal point.
I'll tell you what I think. I think that up to this point, you know, he's been making really strange and abstract games with no clear purpose.
That's fair
and maybe you
assessment.
can only float around in that headspace for so long.
Uh-huh.
Because now he wants something to hold on to. He wants a reference point. He wants the work to be leading to something.
Yes.
He wants a destination.
Yes.
Which is what this lamppost is. It's a destination.
You need direction.
We're going to see it in the
Coda.
work as well. His games are just going to become a lot more cohesive, a lot more fully developed, with more of a clear idea behind them.
Fantastic.
And as we go, that idea will get clearer and clearer and clearer.
This is going to be interesting. Coda, I'm glad to see that this is all coming together. Oh, and we're fading out now. All right.